We are staying on top of breaking news in Kearny Mesa, where we have just learned one person has died from the plane crash in a Costco parking lot.
We begin our team coverage with 10 News reporter Riel Creighton at the scene with the very latest. Riel.
Steve and Kim, you know, it doesn't get more crowded than where this plane came down. You're looking right now at the back end of that plane. The person in blue right there is a crash scene investigator. There are several firefighters on the scene. And then if you take a look over here to my left, you can just, if I'm painting the scene for you of what this area looks like, this is all of the onlookers, several media that have come onto this scene. And then if Mike will walk with me just over here, you can see this parking lot has been shut down for this plane crash. We now know that this crash, of course, was in fact deadly. This plane seats 4 people, we're told, but officials say only 2. 2 women were on board. We saw the massive effort to put out the flames and the smoke that several witnesses told us really that was all they could see in the aftermath of this. 2 women were eventually taken off that plane by ambulance. As we just said, 1 woman did not survive. The other, we're told, had minor injuries. We actually just talked to a commercial student pilot who was taking off at Montgomery Field right next to this plane and heard that distress call.
We were probably the closest aircraft to her when we were taking off, so we were making a light right-hand turn, a light turn to the right, and when she made the call and we came around and saw her, saw the smoke and everything, so we heard the call, and it was not something easily forget. So.
What was the call?
Just that she was having trouble, she was losing power, and then she said she was going down.
Yeah, he was actually just moments ago hoping that no one had been killed. Of course, we now know that 1 woman did not survive this crash. He was actually complimenting the pilot, which we don't know if that was the person that did not survive, but complimenting the pilot for actually avoiding any other structures and any area where they might have hit people. We're live in Kearny Mesa tonight. Riel Creighton, 10 News.
All right, Riel, and joining us now on the phone is aviation expert Glenn Wynn.
Well, Glenn, the pilot that you just heard that was in the sky at the time of this crash says that the female pilot radioed losing power, going down. What might that mean? What went wrong?
Well, obviously there was a power failure in the aircraft, the way it looks to me, and striking that roof of the commercial building before it pancaked into that parking lot. So she did the best she could to bring that aircraft around and try and put it into some position that she thought they could survive. And obviously, I don't know who was deceased, and I'm sorry to hear that. That is something that the aviation industry doesn't like to hear. But again, if they had a chance of survival, the fire department and the quick response in the area, as we know, there's a fire station directly across the highway from where this happened, and the hospitals are all very close by. So survivability was probably the best they could have. Looking at what we've seen earlier, we see, to me, to be 2 tire tracks across the roof of that building, and part of the fuselage was left just on the side of the roof of that building before it pancaked into that parking lot, looking like it probably struck a power pole before it went into the position it went in. That other gentleman you interviewed obviously saw an awful lot, and he will be a very good witness for NTSB to determine from what he could see and then what he heard from the pilot what was going on at the last few seconds before that plane went in.
Glenn, the official account from the FAA at this point, an hour and a half after this took place, the single engine bounced while landing at Montgomery Field around 5:25. We've also heard that the pilot might have been practicing touch and go. So does that verbiage make sense to you?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. They were doing touch and goes. If that, is being released now by the FAA, and then had a power failure on their lift out of Montgomery Field, and then she was looking for a place to put that plane down and did the best she could.
And explain touch and goes, especially as we look at the building being clipped again. It may explain a little bit how come that would have happened, Glenn.
Yeah, exactly. And then, as you see, as I said earlier, what you've just told me, that then makes sense of the wheels are down and the wheels struck the roof, and of course didn't give her an awful lot of time to make any kind of preparations before the aircraft went into that parking lot. That all happens in seconds.
And Glenn, I know there are very different situations, but you were with us back in March when another Mooney, it was an M20S, landed without its landing gear at Montgomery Field. That pilot was uninjured. This today is a Mooney M20L. Both Mooney airplanes coming out of Montgomery Field, different situations, but something happened here today.
Yeah, obviously true. Mooney's been a very good aircraft. It's been in the company that manufactured them has been around since the late 1920, actually 1929, and was recently repurchased by some investors from Taiwan, but they're still manufacturing the aircraft in, I think it's Kearsville, Texas, somewhere in that area. And so it's, you know, a well-respected aircraft. It's been around for many, many years. It was one of the first twin-seater aircraft to ever be pressurized as a single-engine aircraft. So, you know, it's got a long history, a good history. Unfortunately, we've had an incident, now 2 incidents with Moonies in this area.
Right, and this second one now we know is deadly, and so sad situation that we're continuing to follow. And we appreciate your time, Glenn Wynn, this afternoon in helping us to explain the situation with this plane crash in Kearny Mesa. Thank you, Glenn.
All right, 1 person dead, but this map shows you just how dangerous this crash could have been. Take a look at this area. First of all, this is the triangle of the 805 and the 163 merging right here. 525, so you know the traffic. If you've driven on the 163 or even the 805, you see how low the planes will fly over from Montgomery Field. Look at this. Homes all in this area right in here. This is the business park. Now, here's the amazing part about this. The Target, the Costco, this is the lot right here where the trucks pull in back in here, so no one goes in this area. One of the wheels fell off the plane. It clipped the Target right here, fell off in this little loading lot right here where nobody is either. So it's absolutely amazing. More people weren't killed in this crash. 10 News photojournalist Jenny Creighton is live in the Breaking News Tracker with more on the scene. Jenny.
Steve, what I can show you right here is here's the aircraft, as you said, and what we've looked at before in the aerial shots. The aircraft is down flat as a pancake. There's a wheel in the foreground here. You'll see the other wheel that you were just talking about. One of the wheels is in a divide. The plane right now is between the Target to our screen right and the Costco to our screen left. The Costco, as you know, the Costco Business Center, used to be Home Depot Expo. Any hour of the day, that place was full of people, and that would have been the garden center right there. This is an amazing spot where this plane came down. The pilot, if she had any control of this aircraft, set it down so that nobody else was hurt. I just spoke to a person from the Costco Business Center. He heard this happen. He thought one of their trucks had exploded, so he sent a couple of guys out to see what was going on. They came running back. They said there's a plane down. They all grabbed fire extinguishers. They ran to the plane, and he describes the scene of these good Samaritans, these young people who work at Costco at the business center, jumping on the aircraft, which was still on fire, fighting the fire with small fire extinguishers, pulling the door open that you see in the middle of the screen right there, and doing whatever they could for the 2 women on board. Sadly, as we know, we've been told by law enforcement that one of them died, the other's being treated, and a couple of these young people who tried to get these ladies out and try to help them have also gone to the hospital. So we hope to have more on that a little bit later on.
That is an incredible story, Jenny, from those people in that area trying so hard. We have thoughts for the one woman that has survived so far, and we will continue to follow this situation throughout the night. Thank you, Jenny.